Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 195. And today we're here with my guy, Eman from NA Performance. Eman, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, I've been watching the podcast, and it's a lot of good stuff.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You know what's crazy, dude, is we've known each other forever, you know,
Years.
since going to the meets. And I'll always have somebody that stops by the shop and I'm like, oh yeah, the Eman shops around here. I'm like, wait, how you know Eman, you know? And it's just, you never really know how much like somebody is able to touch other people until you start hearing their name like outside of your circle.
Yeah.
You know, and that's definitely where you fit in.
Yeah.
I actually heard your name pop up when we did a podcast with Mike G.
Yeah.
Mike G was talking about it because he has like I think it's a 10th gen.
Yeah, he has a 10th gen, and we've been talking back and forth. He was interested in getting the clutches that we offer.
Yeah. So before we get any further, can you just give us a quick breakdown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Emmanuel Borsiaga, and I go by Eman, and I kind of like a jack of all trades of Hondas, mainly the newer ones, and currently we're just making parts and you know doing big builds, not really doing all the little bolt-ons and stuff like that anymore. We kind of just focus on the big stuff now.
Yeah, man. You say jack of all trades, and that is definitely true because you're the one that hooked up the M4 for us.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience with the BMWs as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had a little period where I was working on a lot of BMWs. It was when the N54 first came out. We were experimenting. We were putting nitrous, meth, all that stuff on those cars.
Now, the N54 was from what chassis was that?
It was when the 335 was introduced.
Got you.
Yeah, and then they put it in the smaller car, the 130i, I think. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right.
Or 135i.
Got you. What did you figure out about that motor? That setup?
Well, the market with those cars, there wasn't really any type of tuning other than the juice box stuff. And,
got you.
I mean, we really couldn't do much other than just literally add boost, nitrous, and I mean, for the most part, it worked. I mean, the cars were quick. They were running low 11s, you know. Back then, that was pretty crazy.
How long ago back was that?
2009.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 2009, 2010.
Wow.
Around that area, yeah.
Dope, man. So let's get into it, bro. How'd you even get into working on cars?
I was always, into cars as a kid. I grew up watching a lot of racing, a lot of Formula One, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I remember we would get like access to those channels, like from Europe.
Oh, gotcha.
And I would be watching the stuff, and like my uncles and aunts would be like, "What are you watching? Like, why do they talk weird? You know?" I don't know. I like it. Yeah. So and then from there, I would always, go to my neighbor's house, and he'd be working on stuff outside, and I'd just be like, curious, and
So what kind of cars was he working on?
He was working on just whatever he owned. Was mainly like Nissans, and like he had a Chevy truck, and I would just help him with whatever. And then he started working on some Hondas that he had, and he kind of molded me like to how I should work. Yeah, kind of gave me like a, I guess, instead of learning everything yourself, he kind of like pushed me towards like, you got to do things this way and that way,
Like more structured?
Yeah, more structured, because he was an actual certified mechanic. So.
Got you. Yeah, most of the stuff that I did was breaking stuff and then just,
and then figuring out after, okay, this is what I did wrong.
Yeah, man, but when I see people work, even such as yourself, dude, it's more systematic than it would be with me. And that's I bet that's probably the best way to learn, you know?
Yeah, so it's just, from the get-go, you kind of just don't deal with the bad habits, I guess.
Bad habits, no, definitely, man. Like not torquing stuff. That's kind of
torquing stuff is a big one. Yeah,
that's one of my bad habits. Yeah, like it feels tight enough, it's not gonna come off.
Yeah.
So, your first love was like F1 cars?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I grew up watching, and then obviously with the the import racing stuff in the late '90s, I started watching that stuff. Got big into into the drag racing. And
Yeah. So the F1 stuff, was there somebody that introduced you to it, or has just caught your eye?
No, I just I don't know. I just kind of just liked how it was.
Yeah.
The politics. I mean, keep in mind I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 12.
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand everything that was going on, but there were a lot of, that type of, and also Honda in the 90s was really like here in the States, not known for anything like racing wise, and, they were an engine supplier, in the early 90s. Yeah, so every time you saw, like in the late 90s, when you saw cars like with the powered by Honda sticker, that came from F1 because they had the powered by Honda on their F1 cars. Yeah.
Really?
That's where that came from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
like the windshield banners.
Yeah, the windshield, the thing that actually says powered by Honda and it had the little emblem. Yeah, that came from I think like a McLaren.
Yeah,
the older McLarens. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is there's so many different aspects of car culture that it's surprising where people actually focus their attention. Because like me, I never even watched F1 before, but I would probably love to go watch that.
Yeah,
in person.
Even now, I still keep up with it today. And I mean, Honda's back in the game, and they're doing pretty good. They're actually winning races, and
is that through Mugen?
No, they're with Red Bull Racing.
Got you.
Yeah,
because we went to Auto Salon a couple years ago. I think it was the beginning of 2019, and we actually went to the Mugen factory, and they were working on some F1 cars there.
Oh, it's probably like Formula 2. They look like F1 cars.
Oh, got you. What's the difference?
It's just slower.
Got you.
So like usually pretty much all drivers, they come in through like GP3, GP2, and then they go to GP1.
Got you.
Yeah. So
what about NASCAR?
I've been to a few NASCAR. Yeah. It's a pretty interesting atmosphere.
Yeah, different.
Yeah. Yeah. The cars are loud, man. Like blow your ears out loud.
Yeah. When was it? We actually did the podcast with Sheepy, probably maybe 4 or 5 months ago or so. And before that, we went to the NASCAR race, and then after we went to go do the podcast, it was at Irwindale, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right there, my son and I went, and it was just, dude, it was so cool, bro.
Yep.
And it's just the cars going, and then when they start having like a gap, then you start hearing the first gap going.
Yeah. And then at one point it's just constant. It's like I was like, you could feel it too.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because when you see this stuff on TV, I mean, to me, it doesn't look as interesting, but I guess that goes for everything, even baseball, watching baseball on TV is not that exciting, but you go to the game and you're sitting in the bleachers or in the top, and it doesn't even matter, dude.
That's the way I saw NASCAR. It was like almost like going to a baseball game.
Yeah. It was awesome, man. I liked it. So what was your first car?
My very first car was a 94 Honda Accord.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, it was handed down to me from my mom, and that was my first car. And yeah, after that, I got a job, saved up some money, and I actually wanted to buy a Type R.
Okay.
I really wanted to buy like either a Type R or an S2000.
Yeah.
And I was young, I was 18, just kind of reaching for something that I wasn't able to. Yeah. But I mean, I felt like the Type R was obtainable. It's just that at the time when we went to go look at them and all that, they were kind of like, like, oh, this is a special car. It just kind of gave me the runaround.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it never took me serious. So I went over to the Subaru dealership, and this was in 2001, and they had those, the brand new WRXs, the Bug Eyes.
Yeah.
They were 02 model, but this was an 01. And I had never seen this car, but I had definitely played with WRXs on like PlayStation.
Got you.
So I was just like, oh hell yeah, I'll get one of these cars. I drove it. It was like my first stick car, and I mean, I actually learned how to drive stick before I got my license, so I already kind of knew what I was doing because my Accord was automatic. And And yeah, I drove it and I was just like, yeah, I'm sold. And it was like the easiest process ever to buy the car too.
And then at the Acura dealer, it wasn't?
No, they was just kind of like, you're like, oh, it's a special car, you know, there's this and that.
Really?
It was just kind of like, yeah. Yeah. But that's, man, looking at Type R prices now. But knowing me, dude, like if I had that car, I would have destroyed it.
Quick. No, definitely.
I destroyed the WRX. So I could already tell you I would have destroyed that thing.
Yeah. That's funny, man. Yeah. You know, you always hear that stuff happening in movies or whatever, but I have experienced it. And not to the point where it's like in movies like, oh, you can't afford it, but just knowing that they're not giving you as much attention. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it tells more about them and their sales skills than anything. Yeah.
I just think car dealerships in general, they were especially like an Acura dealership, they were a little more like come on, dude, like you're an 18-year-old kid, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, I was gonna have my mom co-sign for me, but yeah, when you go in there alone, they don't take you seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. But when I worked at Best Buy, we call that selling out of your own pocket. You know, when you see somebody and you think, oh, just because they're young or they're dressed a certain way or they're a certain race or whatever, that they can't afford a certain thing. And when I used to have that idea in my head that I didn't want to do that. And if I would have thought that way, I would have lost out on so many sales, dude. Yeah. Because, you know, even if people work at wherever, if they work at the fields or whatever, that doesn't mean that they're poor. That actually means that they have a lot more opportunity to make money because you get paid for the batches or whatever, you know. And I say working at the field because we would have a lot of people come in from the field and they would hook up their cars and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, bro, they would just... they would pay for whatever.
Yeah, they probably already knew, you know, roughly what they were going to be spending. They just wanted to come in, get it done.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I did learn about sales, man. It doesn't really matter what somebody looks like. Yeah. It just matters if they can pay for it or not.
Exactly.
So you get the Subaru.
So actually, getting the Subaru and, you know, that actually, I met a lot of people through having that. I think I was just driving home one day and some guys flagged me down and they were like, hey, you know, you want to like go to the hangout? And I'm like, what hangout, you know? And then that's how I pretty much got introduced to the whole street racing scene, you know.
No way.
Yeah.
So when you had the Subaru, you really didn't have any other car friends? No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
And they were like, yeah, come hang out with us. And then I went and I followed them and we, you know, they would go to the streets and I'd be like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So this was probably what you said, 02?
This is 01 still.
01?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So back then, what was the spot?
I want to say Edison.
Got you.
State Beaches.
All the throwbacks.
Yeah, all of them. All the.
And for everybody listening, you're born and raised in Oxnard.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, dude, I remember those kind of the low pro spots. Edison.
Yeah.
And then State Beaches. What about actual the meat spot? Was that like
before? It was Best Buy actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was Best Buy.
Gotcha.
And I think it was a bowling alley also in Camarillo.
Okay.
Yeah, we would go to that one too.
Got you. Yeah. When I started going out to the meets, it was already Krispy Kreme in Oxnard by Best Buy. Yeah. And then it was Del Taco, Camarillo, Del Taco.
You know what's funny was when I started going, that whole area where Krispy Kreme was, that was all field.
No way.
Yeah, it was just the Chevron there, I think. And then like the rest of it was just all field.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even remember that, bro.
Yeah.
You put a new building up in 2 months, that's been there forever for me. I forget what was there before or anything.
Yeah. But I mean eventually, we all started meeting there and then there was Del Taco and Camarillo.
Yeah, and then the In and Out here in Oxnard.
Yeah. But I think I remember, I don't know if it was 01 or 02, but there was a big bust at Best Buy where they like closed off everything. And,
really?
Yeah, they were having everyone come out through like a little exit.
Oh,
and you'd get busted. Get busted for something.
Yeah. So this group of guys that you hung out with, was it just Subaru guys?
No, they had Hondas and just Nissans. Yeah.
Just guys hanging out.
Typical tuner cars.
Got you. So after you were hanging out with them, did you notice that your passion started to grow a lot more?
Yeah, I mean, I think I raced an Eclipse or something. I got smoked.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know how to launch an all-wheel drive car. You know, I think I just left like at idle.
Yeah.
And that dude like was like revving off the rev limiter, and he just left like nothing. You know, and I was just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
You know, back then my mentality was, oh well, I make 220 according to the brochure, and he only makes 200. So, but that's how you learn. You know, it's, you know, you get put in those positions, and then you're like, all right, what went wrong here?
Yeah. So when did you start winning races?
After that, I just started, you know, figuring out how to drive the car properly, and then, you know, seeing how to increase the boost. Yeah, and then I pretty much after I figured out how to increase the boost, I started winning races.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I mean, we would do it like ghetto, dude. We would buy like little valves from like Home Depot and tie them in between the wastegate and like, you know.
Shit.
Yeah, it was just like a manual boost controller, you know? Yeah, and then it was funny too, because sometimes during the pulls I could just hear the engine like knocking, but I would be like, it's still going. The engine never blew up. Yeah. Surprisingly, it's a Subaru, but...
So what is that? Tell me about that Subaru. They're just known for having bad motors, or what?
I think it's just the 2.5 liter is known for having a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But the 2 liters weren't too bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, mine never blew, and I was really hard on that thing.
Yeah.
And actually, that's where I learned to really rebuild transmissions, because I broke it 4 times.
Got you.
The first time it was covered on warranty. The second time they said no, and it was crazy money. Dude, it was like $3,000 back then to fix it.
Really?
Yeah. So I just said, you know what? I'm out of car. Like, I'm just gonna pull out the tranny, open it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You know?
Yeah.
And I just started replacing what was broken. You know, the first time it took me like 3 weeks to rebuild.
Yeah.
And I got it rebuilt. It worked. Drove it, and then. It was funny, too, because the first time it broke, it was first gear. Mm-hmm. The second time it broke, I broke it, like, the very next day I got it back.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it was second gear this time. Yeah.
Wow.
All I did was floor it in first, and as soon as I shifted to second, it just bust.
What did your mom say about it?
She was pissed. She was pissed.
So before that point where you started working on the car, did you have any knowledge about working on cars besides, you know, helping out your neighbor?
Yeah, I had already a pretty good amount of knowledge with that. I just had no knowledge about transmissions.
Gotcha.
And the same goes for my neighbor. I mean, he was kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, I've never rebuilt one, but I mean, you know, I've seen guys do it. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, especially back then, you know, opening a trans and fixing something, people are just like, what the hell? Like, it's not an engine, you know? Like, an engine is, you know, I guess simpler.
An important part of buying Honda parts online is making sure that you can trust the company that you're dealing with to get you the right parts reliably. You're spending a lot of money and you spent a lot of time researching your build. The last thing that you may want to do is send cash to a website where you may never see it again, and worse yet, never see parts. With Heel Toe Automotive, an 18-year history track record is part of the deal. Heel Toe brings you deep industry connects, professional parts recommendations, alternative ideas when your parts aren't available, and will even contact you if something on your order looks out of ordinary before it ships. Heel Toe's unique checkout allows you to select a deadline to receive your parts to make sure you get them in the time for your project plans. You can buy parts online anywhere, but Heel Toe knows what truly matters to an enthusiast: professionalism, swiftness, and accuracy. Heel Toe is in your corner. Visit HeelToeAuto.com, or you can call or text at 949-295-1668. And make sure you check them out on Instagram at Heel Toe Automotive. Yeah, I mean, that goes for anything, you know, even like exotic cars and things like that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's really just a car and pieces together and nuts and bolts.
Exactly.
And if you take away that like being afraid to get into it,
Yeah.
and then you just think about it as what it really is, then you can manipulate it to however you want it to work.
Yep.
You know, remember Ryan from Rywire? He was we were talking, and he was saying that about like exotic cars, and he's like, dude, it's just a car, and it's just an engine management or whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But on the outside looking in, you think, dude, you're doing harnesses for Lambos or whatever, you know. But I mean, yeah, you're right, dude. It's just mechanical pieces, and you just tear it apart and say, okay, well, that piece is broke, so let's fix that.
Yeah. And I remember taking it apart in the garage, and you know, like my family would walk in and be like, oh my god, dude, what are you doing? Just like tripping out, dude. Yeah. It'd be like, you know what? Ever since you were a kid, you would always just take shit apart and never put it back together. You're like, I hope you put this one back together. I was like, I have to. Yeah.
Do you find joy in that, figuring out how things work?
Yeah, I do. And then, you know, seeing where it failed and what we can do to, you know, beef it up.
Yeah.
You know,
what other or non-automotive things would you mess around with?
Yeah, not really anything else. I mainly just stuck to automotive
just cars
stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll find myself messing around with something like, you know, old VCR is not working or whatever, just tearing things apart.
I think that's the type of stuff I would take apart back when I was like 10 or something. And my mom would it would drive her nuts. It would drive her nuts. She'd be like hiding all the screwdrivers. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you get the Subaru, you're finally learning how to race and working on it. So what ended up happening with that car?
So that car, I just had like a final straw with it. I think I was just, it got to a point where I was just like, all right, I'm just going to drive this thing normal. I'm going to save my money and I'm going to buy something else. So I'm just going to drive this thing because I have to go to work. And I'm driving on the freeway, and like some car, you know, tries to pass me. So I was just like, all right, I'll put it in third. As soon as I put it in third and let go of the clutch, it broke again.
No shit.
Yeah, like third gear just right.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm done with this thing. So I actually, from there, it still ran. I drove it to Subaru. Yeah. And I tried to see if they would fix it under warranty, and they said no. Yeah. And it stayed there for, I think, like 2 months. And they said, hey, you need to come pick up your car. And I'm just like, okay. So I went over there and I started talking with my old sales guy. He's like, what happened? And I was just like, yeah, it's just the trans. It's no good. Like, it keeps breaking. And he's like, oh, well, you know, you need to upgrade to the STI. Oh, shit. Yeah. So I started looking at them, and they offered me a good deal. They pretty much, they said, oh, yeah, we'll cover it under warranty if you trade in the car.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I was just like, all right, fine. Because if not, I'm going to dump like another $2,000 into it, you know? Yeah. So I ended up getting a brand new 2005. I think they call them Blaubeis.
Blaubeis, yeah. Okay, sick.
Yeah, and that just led to more racing, more, you know.
So 2005, was that about the same time that the WR, the STI, and the Evo kind of came out at the same time?
And the Evo came out in 03.
Got you.
And then the STI came out in 04. But the STI that came out in 04 was kind of like an oddball car. It had no radio. It didn't have a really good suspension either in the back. It's just kind of like a car they tossed together just because the Evo was already here. And it wasn't until 05, like the one that I got, where they updated everything. They updated the interior, they widened the rear track, they put wider wheels, all that stuff. But
really? Yeah. That's fucking weird. Yeah. Didn't even have a stereo?
Yeah, it didn't come with the radio.
Wow. It's kind of like the Dodge Neon, bro, that has power windows in the front, but not in the back.
Oh, I remember that, actually. Yeah, the Neon SRT4s. Yeah. I thought that was the oddest thing ever. I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right?
Is this a coupe?
Wow, I never even knew that. That's crazy, dude.
I actually raced one of my buddies' SRT4s. Like, he was like, here, dude, like, because I got pretty good at driving. Everybody wanted me to drive their car. Yeah. He'd be like, here, race this guy. I'll be like, all right. I hopped in. I launched the car really good. It was against the Evo. He took me off the line, and right as I shifted a second, the shift knob went to the back somewhere. The shift knob just came off. I think they like press them on or something.
Oh, really?
I was like, what the
yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, so I just kept going with the race with no shift knob.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Man, that STI, bro, I always wanted that one, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that with the square wing in the back.
Yeah.
That one, and then the Evo, what is the MR? It was like the higher one with like the spikes on the roof.
Yep.
And I remember that era. That was dope, man. That was probably about the same time that, in my opinion, was like the highlight years out here as far as meets and stuff.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people that had those cars.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, I just kind of went all out as far as I can go with the STI, and then it wasn't the transmission that was giving me issues; it was the engine.
What kind of problems were you having?
It just wouldn't last. It'd make like 450 on like full bolt-on injectors, big turbo, and then it would it wouldn't last. It would last maybe like a month.
And then what would you do?
And then I bought pistons and all that stuff. So I built a forged short block.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened. It like happened in a matter of like, I think it lasted maybe 3 months.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just even the upgraded pistons at the time that they sold, the ring lands were just too thin.
Got you.
Yeah. So it would just break.
Did you feel like the market was still pretty new?
Yeah, the market was new, and that engine I don't think was engineered correctly from the get-go.
Got you.
So it's just, it's fine when it's like in a Forester at 220 horsepower, but definitely not for the STI's application.
Yeah. So now you're doing all of this wrenching on the STIs. Did you have a lot of friends that were into the STIs as well?
I had a lot of STI buddies, and the same thing was happening to them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a reliable car. So my whole plan was to still keep the STI. So I think, after that I bought like a Honda Fit just so I can get to work.
Got you. Okay. So the Fit was just a commuter.
Yeah, it was just a commuter. But then I started modifying it too.
Really?
Yeah, put nitrous on it. Lowered it, did all the wheels, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Started racing that thing too.
What motor's in the Fit?
It's a 1.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what were some of the things that you were doing to it to make it fast?
Just nitrous. That was the only thing you can do. People were turboing them and supercharging them, but it wouldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But with nitrous, it would just brings anything to life.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Nitrous is always something that's kind of scared me, but it seems like it's something that you've always dabbled on. How did you get to understand what nitrous actually did and ways to do it safely?
Everyone that was fast, that's what they were using. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, if that's what they're using, I got to use it.
Yeah.
So
what would you do if you upgraded the nitrous? Would you have to do the injectors, the management, or what else?
No, it was just a simple wet kit. It's so primitive the way we would do it. We would just wire everything up literally with a button, like a cord. We would just hold it. Just you got to make sure when you press the button, you got to be wide open throttle. If not, you're gonna pop the manifold or something.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I haven't done much destruction with these cars. But I would like to.
I remember one time I was just driving and one of the solenoids got stuck open with the bottle open.
Oh shit.
And it just like killed the car. But I don't know. It's Honda. It still turned on.
Yeah.
But after that, I could tell the engine was hurt. So that's when I traded in for the 8th gen.
So you traded in the Fit. You got the 8th gen. Now with your time with the Fit, did it already turn you on to Hondas?
I was always like a Honda fanboy.
Okay.
Like even before the Subarus, and I just kind of like got like a bad taste when I couldn't get one. One that I wanted.
Yeah.
So when I got the 8th gen, it was a much better experience. I got like a really good deal on it, and it was just going to be a commuter car for me.
Got you.
Yeah, and then I just started, that engine, the K series, it's just like, I just saw how much, I was able to appreciate it a lot more because I was dealing with the Subaru engine. I was just like, man, this engine is so much better, has, way better technology, everything about it is just better. The pistons, the rods, all that stuff.
Yeah, so going to the 8th gen, it looks like that's where you got a lot of your accolades starting off with that chassis right there.
Yeah.
So what was so give us like a timeline of you got the car, and then
So
what
yeah,
were some of the things you started to do?
That car, so that car actually has never had nitrous on it.
Okay.
Because prior to that, I was putting nitrous on everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that car's never had nitrous, and I don't know. I just always I liked how the car made a lot of power just naturally aspirated, and that's how I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna try to squeeze as much power as I can, not doing turbo or any force induction.
Just all motor.
Yeah, just all motor, and see what the limitations are, and just go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of stuff available to us back then. I mean, I don't think Honda had came out with a tuning solution till like maybe 3 years after that car was in production.
Really?
It was a long time, yeah.
Oh, shit.
All they had was a reflash.
Downtime with Downstar would like to welcome our newest sponsor, Rywire Motorsport Electronics. Rywire has been around since 2005, supplying you with solutions for all of your motorsport electronics needs. Whether you need a simple ECU adapter, engine harness, chassis harness, or PDM setup, they can get you taken care of. Offering products for most popular engine platforms from Honda, Toyota, Nissan, GM, hey, even Lamborghini. And if you have any private label needs, they can also take care of that as well. Rywire is the leader in motorsport electronics in our community, and we're excited to have them part of the Downtime with Downstar family. Please make sure you guys support Rywire. You guys can check them out at rywire.com or on Instagram at rywire_motorsport_electronics. I know it's long, guys. If you just search Rywire, it will pop up. And if you're searching, make sure you search them on YouTube, and you can check out their YouTube channel where they are working on their new EV S2000 build. We're super excited for that, and we're super excited for Rywire to be part of the Downtime with Downstar family. So please, guys, make sure you go show Rywire some love and tell them that Downtime with Downstar sent you. Once again, that's rywire.com. So what were some of the things that you were doing to it?
I mean, people online, they would try cams, they would try, stuff that worked for the RSXs, but without the tuning, the cars would run odd. It was also the first K series, I think, with like a mass airflow sensor. So that was like another obstacle to get around. You couldn't just pop an intake on it, and then it would run fine. If you put an intake on it, it would run funny.
Yeah. Because
nobody was like, doing the correct like housing for it.
Got you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that stuff was, it was all kind of like experiment. Yeah. Before tuning was available.
Now, what companies do you remember that that started developing products for the 8th gen that were actually beneficial?
I would say just all the companies that made like the cams and the internals for it. I would say like Drag Cartel. Yeah. Their cams. Can't really think too much. Yeah. Super Tech,
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say
those are still companies used to this day, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Their stuff's only improved. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they started actually. So also with that car, I remember I was taking it to the track, and literally just with the reflash and like bolt-ons, I was going like high 13s with it, and I was just kind of like, wow, this car is pretty quick with just, the bolt-ons and no tune. There was other people online that couldn't break 15s with the same parts.
Really?
Yeah. So, and I remember I was able to get my hands. I broke the final drive in that car. Like I broke one of the teeth on it. I think in that year, 07, 08, they didn't have very good production on the final drives. So they would break easy. And I got my hands on a FD2, so it's an 8th gen Type R final drive.
Gotcha.
And I was one of the first guys to put that in the car, because a lot of them were like, "Oh, we don't know if it'll work," but it's kind of like, dude, it's almost the same journey. Why wouldn't it work, right?
Got you.
So I guess I took the risk to, even when I called I was Steve at H Motors.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we don't know if it'll fit that tranny, and I'm just like, oh well, I still want to buy it, just to try it out, and it worked, and it made the car significantly faster.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you put that news out there?
Yeah, Yeah. And then people were bringing me their cars so I could swap out the final drive. People were doing that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you actually open up your garage or start working on people's cars?
I started working on people's cars actually out of my garage in like 2009, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where I was just annoying the shit out of my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so eventually I moved to a larger shop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to an actual shop.
To shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
So before you moved to your shop, what were you doing for work?
Well, before that, I was working just randomly wherever I could get a job through an agency.
Got you.
And then, yeah, from there I ended up, I got so busy with cars at home that I quit my job and I just doing that.
Yeah.
And then from there I moved to the shop, and then, yeah, that's how I make my living now.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever look back at that and just realize that you were an entrepreneur and you made a business for yourself?
I mean, I wish I could have took the risk sooner.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at now. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you ever expect that's the way that things were going to go?
No. I mean, I took it day by day, I think.
Yeah.
And just kind of saw the potential there, and, family said I was crazy, but
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the hard thing, man, especially, in this area. We're raised to know that this is the life that we have to live. You have to go to work or go to school or whatever, and that's it, but I know in my life it was never really pushed to me, not even the option that hey, maybe one day you could have your own business. Maybe you could work for yourself, maybe you could have employees or whatever. That was never explained to me, not through friends, family, not even through school. It was supposed to be so structured.
Yeah.
But then you just look at it like this is episode 195 and we've heard this story so many times. I'm good at working on cars, so I would just work them on the side, and business just got so busy, so I needed a shop, and this is what I do now. So it's like, dude, it's not easy, but the path is clear. If you're good at something and somebody's willing to pay you for it, just keep doing that.
And the important thing too is that you do what you want to do, what you like to do. So I feel that in that aspect, I'm fortunate.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Just waking up and just living your own life.
Yep.
There's so much satisfaction to that. I was talking to my wife about that yesterday, and it's like, when you work for somebody, you're literally at the mercy of them, whether they want to be a dick that day or not.
Yeah.
You have a birthday on the weekend, right? Oh, sorry, we need you. When I worked at Best Buy, sorry, we need you to come in Saturday from 4 to 8 to close. Like 4 to 8, come
4 to 8
on,
just ruined the whole day.
You ruined everything for me, man. But if you put that same hustle that you put into waking up every day, going to sleep at a time just so you could wake up just to go to work, if you put that same amount of energy into yourself, bro, I feel like there could be so many more self-employed people,
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just, there's always that risk element too, that's where a lot of people, I think, kind of get nervous about even attempting something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Did you ever feel like that it was a risk?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of times where especially at the beginning when I first got the shop, there was a lot of times where I did worry, I did have to take a part-time job at one point, because I'm all word of mouth, I've never really advertised or anything like that,
Yeah.
So it did take some time to build up the
clientele and the word of mouth and stuff. Yeah, I feel you, man. So what's the reasoning behind not marketing yourself?
At first it was just kind of like, I was happy with the amount that I was doing, so I really didn't see a reason to kind of push. Got you. And then it got to a point where I just had so much to do that I was just like, why am I gonna go out and, if anything, the word of mouth is already enough. I got like a ton of people. I met a ton of people, and that's how I just proceeded from there, really. Got you.
And with this 8th gen, do you feel like this was the chassis that you became very well known for?
Yeah, I think that's where I started to really get into the social media aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that car, you had some world records, didn't you?
Yeah. We had a fastest all motor, fastest supercharger setup, and I think fastest. I think that one still stands, the fastest stock block.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did 12.4 at 109.
Very cool, dude. Yeah. So what made you go over to a supercharger?
So we had built an engine. So it was like a K24. We sleeved it because the K24 block that we had was damaged. The walls were, so we were just like, let's just sleeve it, make it stronger, and that way we could put a big piston in it.
Yeah,
we put like a 89 millimeter piston in, and it just I think the machine shop, whoever did it, the sleeves just kept sinking, so I kept having head gasket issues. And we had already scheduled to go to the track and everything, and we had helped one of the guys from the 8th gen community build his supercharger. We fixed his tranny and all that stuff, and we had just taken his car to the track, and it went pretty fast. And my car was, had a lot of lightweight stuff on it. It had like a carbon fiber hood and trunk, and I had the whole roof swapped out for an LX roof.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, because it had a sunroof or what?
Yeah, all that size have sunroofs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the car had a lot of lightweight components on it, so it was able to be about 500 pounds off of a normal 8th gen.
God damn.
Yeah. So when we put the supercharger motor in there, it went almost 0.8 of a second faster than it did in the coupe.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And we also we tuned it on ethanol, so I think that played a big part in it too.
Got you. Speaking of tuning, I know that you dabble with Motec a lot. When was the first time that you started using that management?
Well, I've always used, so like the main person that started tuning from the 8th gen on with me was a buddy of mine. His name's Vit. From Vit Viper, and he used to tune a lot of 8th gens back in the day. He got super popular with tuning 8th gens, and he eventually started messing around with other engine management systems. He started doing AEM, then he went to Motec, and then he was just like, hey, you need the ECU, and I'm just like, okay. And he's like, yeah, you should buy it. And he showed me the price tag, and I was just like, dude, you're nuts. I'm not going to pay that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm telling you, you need it. And I'm like, okay. So I bought a kit off of him, and we tuned the 8th gen on a Motec. And that's, I think, when it went 11.2.
Yeah.
11.2 at like 123 or something like that. And we only got one pass out of it because the car doesn't have a cage. So track officials were like, "Hey,
done.
You're done."
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then after that, I got attention, and yeah, he was already working with the getting a Motec work on the tension. So he creates the package, so everything works in your car. Like, with a lot of standalones, especially if you put them in the new cars, nothing works. Like, your controls.
Yeah.
Your gauge cluster, nothing would operate. So
yeah.
he creates the program for everything to work, the package.
So it's just straight take your ECU out, put the Motec one in.
Yeah, the stock ECU is not in there. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Now, at this time, were you already familiar with working with Honda?
Yeah. I mean, that's all we were using back with the 8th gen.
So what's the difference between, in general, Honda and Motec? What are some of the benefits of going with Motec?
Just pretty much, it's like any restrictions you would have with a stock ECU, because at the end of the day, the Honda it's a reflash. It only can do so much within the stock ECU.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just manipulating those parameters inside a stock ECU.
Yeah.
And with Motec, it's just fast, and you could do anything you want.
Yeah.
You can create like we were able to do the port injection. All of that got wired in. and we have real launch control. We have, anti-lag, and there's just traction control is a big one. Yeah. So with a front wheel drive car, you make 500 horsepower. It's going to be like Spin City with other systems. This is all controlled.
Really?
Yeah. So
you think it's worth the investment?
I think so. Yeah.
What does something like that run?
North of 6K.
Got you.
For the 10 gen stuff, and that goes for Type R as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Sick. So you get the 8th gen, finally start to get some traction with that. When do you move on to the 9th gen?
Actually, I was going to buy a 9th gen, but I don't know what happened. I just didn't see the reason to, because I was already busy enough with the 8th gen stuff. So I did look into how the motor, because there's a lot of different things when they did the 9th gen. Like they did the single outlet exhaust. Yeah. It was a huge restriction, and people were trying different things, but the car just wasn't making the power that it should have, because it only had a single outlet head.
Yeah.
So from there, I actually was able to I got a few customers that were willing to experiment, and we did make a K20 head work on the stock 9th gen bottom end.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And when we did that, it was kind of like having like a K24, like a Frank, but in a new car.
Yeah.
And that's something that they weren't able to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that, we'll just swap in like a normal older TSX motor. But it won't work, because the crank reed is like, it has a big gear. Where the older K series had like had a lot less teeth.
Got you.
And you couldn't retrofit that into the old engine.
But you could swap the head in it?
We were able to swap the head.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
would you use
like custom size the head studs, and we would have to add weld to the head, and then we would have to have it like redecked.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so this is kind of like just, we would go along. I think the first one I did was Ken Swoon. You heard of him?
No.
Yeah, he does a lot of time attack.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, so he did an all motor build on his pistons, rods, and he made like 300 wheel all motor.
Wow. Yeah, now, would there be an issue with like the exhaust manifold, the header?
So yeah, I mean the car wasn't designed to fit anything that large in there. They kind of, it looked, I mean, there's a lot of space in there, but it looked like Honda was just like, okay, well, we only need one pipe coming out of here, so let's take up all this space. So we did have to figure out, experiment with a few headers for the 8th gen and make them fit on the 9th gen. Yeah, and that's how we did that. But I think we worked with Jeremy at Track Cartel and ASP, and they figured out how to make a bolt-on header. So now you can just hit up ASP and they got a header for a 9th gen. Yeah, so the head swap's a lot easier.
One of the most critical parts to any build is the clutch. Without a proper clutch, you won't be able to get that power to the wheels. No one wants to spend hundreds of dollars on a clutch that won't hold their power for more than a few races or spirited drives. It is important to go with a clutch that you know that you can count on. That's why many people choose Action Clutch over the competition. Action Clutch offers OEM replacements all the way to 1200 plus horsepower that can be found everywhere, from street cars, drag cars, and even Formula Drift vehicles. Action Clutch makes all their kits here in the USA with material sourced locally in Los Angeles. Not only is Action Clutch made in the USA, they have also made a strong focus this year to give back a percentage of sales back to the community during these hard times, providing impacted families with groceries and other necessities. Contact Action Clutch today with whatever you need and you will receive the family treatment. You can find their product line at actionclutch.com. If you don't see what you need, please feel free to call them at 323-269-6051. You can also DM them on Instagram at actionclutch or email them at sales@actionclutch.com. If you need help choosing a kit, Action Clutch can get you set up with the right kit for your build. Did you ever realize what you were bringing to the table as far as, experimenting on stuff that probably nobody was even trying to do?
I mean, I knew eventually people were gonna figure it out, but I was just kind of like, I have the the guys that they're willing to do it, and why not?
Yeah.
So
what gave you the confidence that you can figure it out or even tackle that job?
I don't know, just from building, because I was already at that time building like engine, because people would blow up those engines like with superchargers or turbo. So I already had a few of the newer K series blocks sitting there, and I was able to see, fit it on there, be like, okay, if theoretically if we had a different head gasket or if we had this, it would work theoretically. So yeah, just little steps like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, see, it was a lot easier to build a motor, like do pistons and rods, then do the head swap.
Mm-hmm.
But to do a head swap on the completely stock bottom end, that was more of an issue. Like there was, like the piston had like this little nub that would hit the K20 head.
Got you.
So we had to, have the heads clearance there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long did it take you before you actually got a final product that worked? How many revisions did you have?
Just one.
Really?
Yeah. Once we did it once, that was it. And
fuck.
Yeah, there's about like 5 cars running around out there with my setup on there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Now with the 9th gen, even though you didn't own one, the customer cars that you did work on, did any of them go to breaking any records or anything like that?
No. They were mainly just street cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than the time attack car, that car got a lot of recognition, I would say.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now fast forward to the 10th gen. Do you own a 10th gen?
Yeah, I own a sedan, an SI.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about that. When that chassis was coming out, what was your mindset like for the upcoming 10th gen before it even came out?
Yeah, so with that car, I actually was not even interested in buying it. I was just kind of like 1.5 liter. This is, I mean, no matter how you sliced it, the engine's tiny.
Yeah.
I don't care about all this, new turbo technology.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's 1.5. How much power? It's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy, my tuner, he got one, and he was just like, dude, you need to get one. And I was just like, no, I'm going to get a Type R. And he's like, oh, you're stupid if you get a Type R, because that you're not going to get anyone, like, no business with that,
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah, I'm going to get a Type R. And I went, and yeah, they wanted crazy money. They're like 10, 15 over sticker.
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, okay, I'll get this car, and then I'll wait, and maybe later I'll get a Type R.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turned out to be a really good decision, and I mean, I really like the car now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really comfortable car. It gets crazy gas mileage.
Really?
Even the way it is right now, 500 wheel horsepower street setup, it still gets like 40 miles per gallon.
You're making 500?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, 500 on pump gas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it tuned for E85?
Yeah. Well, when I say pump gas, I'm able to buy E85 at a pump, so that's pump gas to me.
There you go. Okay, so your initial thought of the L15, is that what it's called, the L15?
Yeah, the L15.
So your initial thought of it, that it wasn't going to be a good setup.
Yeah,
what's your thought of it now?
Now it's it's a motor that keeps like impressing me, I guess.
Got you.
Every time I do something to it, and it ends up responding well, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation with Brian from Hassport, and we're talking about the 10th gen and the L15 motor, and how he foresees that motor becoming the new K series motor.
Yeah.
After all the K series turn into the B series and then start slowly going away. Do you feel like it's going to move that way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's already people swapping those engines into the older chassis, and yeah, they're working out really good. Do
you find a benefit in that? Say, put one of those in a EG, because I know Hassport's working on mounts for those.
Yeah, I mean, as aftermarket increases, I mean, like I said, it's really easy to make power out of them. So it's like, if there's going to be an abundance of them, they're putting these engines in everything.
Yeah.
There's going to be an abundance of them, so yeah, why not?
Have you ever priced out what one would cost, like at a junkyard or something?
Yeah, they're not too bad. I think they're like $1,500 for wiring, harness, everything.
Turbo kit and everything?
Yeah, every turbo, everything.
No fucking way.
Yeah, minus the transmission. The transmission is going to cost you money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, usually if you find a used one, it's bad. They're kind of like the K series. They're a little fragile.
Got you.
Yeah. So, but now we were working with Jeremy, and we gave him a tranny, and he sent it to PBG, and they made a gear kit for it. So that's what we've been pushing lately. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the...
No, let's get into that.
Yeah.
So the tranny is one of the weak points, like you said, for the K series.
Yep.
Is. So I sent it to Jeremy, and they did a gear set. So the gear that you're going to be able to get, the gear set, what is that going to be able to do for the trans?
So one is strengthening it, because third and fourth are real fragile in those cars, especially with the torque that they make. They make crazy torque.
Got you.
So and the other thing, the first and second gears in the 10 gens, they're not very geared for like performance.
Got you.
They're like, it's a very odd ratio. Like first gear, I think, goes to like 28 miles an hour. So this is like super short. So if you modify a stock, it's fine. But if you modify the car,
there's no first gear.
Yeah, there's no first gear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a useless gear, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even when you're at the track and you put slicks and it hooks, it's still like, you're shifting in a second immediately.
Yeah.
So you're not able to use it. And so with that, we gave them kind of roughly the ratios that we thought would be best.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out with something, and so far it's working really good.
So you already have it?
Yeah, I already have it. Yeah.
Really?
We got the first set, and we tested it out. We did the dyno, and made sure it held all the power, and then I had to tear it apart again, make sure everything was wearing correctly.
Yeah.
And now we have I think all the kits are sold.
Wow. Is there anybody else in the 10 gen community doing something like that?
I think there is, but they're not changing the ratios for some reason. I think
they're just making stronger gears.
Yeah, they're making stronger gears. And there's M Factory. I think they make a close ratio. That's not good for people. I think most of my market's drag racing. They want to go fast in a straight line, and those gear setups are more for road racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that wouldn't be something I would recommend either for street, because it's just kind of like, why are you going to be shifting so many times on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're making like 200 over stock.
What does it make stock?
Stock, they dyno like 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. You just taking all of these risks and pushing the community forward, opening so many more doors for just this one chassis. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at it like that?
No. I mean, I just kind of like see it as like, okay, I'm trying to go as far as I can go with this chassis, and
yeah,
if I figure out something that's not holding up, then I'm gonna try to figure out a way to fix it.
Yeah, and
because we have had a lot of like like bump stops. I guess. Yeah. Like the oil pump's an issue. I think we at the track, when we went 11-2, we broke an oil pump because we were trying to rev it to like 8. The stock rev line's like 64 or something.
Oh, shit.
Like yeah. So, yeah, I remember after that run, not only did that happen, but the manifold, it's a plastic manifold, intake manifold, it just exploded.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it just exploded, and my guy came into the pits, and the car sounded like a ITB. The car was running still.
Really?
Yeah, because the Motec, it's okay, there's no throttle body, so now I'm gonna idle with the cam phasing.
Oh shit.
The car I was actually running with no manifold.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is there I'm not really familiar with the 10th gen stuff. Is there aftermarket intake manifolds available?
So there's been talk about people making them, but I don't think we'll see one for like another year.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's a company somewhere out in China.
Gotcha.
They made one, but there hasn't been a lot of people running it, and I think they really missed the market when they didn't incorporate the additional injector ports.
Oh.
Yeah, because right now, like what I'm running to make the power that I'm running like it's called a injector spacer.
Okay.
So you put that in between the intake manifold and the head, and you're able to add 4 more injectors.
Got you. Okay. Now the do they offer like an aluminum valve cover for that motor?
They don't.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I think someone should jump on that right there because not a lot of people like the plastic.
Now, what about the one that I believe it's what Spoon offers?
That's just a painted stock one.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's still so much opportunity for that chassis, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
It usually takes years anyways.
Yeah.
You know, I feel kind of right now that like the way I look at an RSX is still a little newer than I would look at an EK, but it's not as much. You know what I mean? I see an RSX and I see, okay, I feel comfortable enough tinkering with this car, doing things to it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it just done so many times.
Yeah. And you had one.
Yeah.
I remember that white one.
Yeah, dude, it was fun, man. That's why I bring it up. You know, I missed that chassis, but that was like the newest Honda that I ever had. You know, but fast forward, like 12, 13 years later to this chassis. If this is going to become the new Civic and then the new motor platform, there's so much opportunity still there.
Even the next generation, they're going to carry over the engine. They're going to use the same engine.
Yeah. Wow, for it being that cheap, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have we actually have one of our customers that has the L15 swap, but I think it's maybe EK if I'm not mistaken, EK or EG, but it looks cool. But the only thing about it is just it looks like a newer motor.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a
lot of plastic,
a valve cover or intake manifold or something else that made it look a little more, you know, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it's a very busy engine. It's actually got a lot of sensors on it.
Really?
A lot of wires. Like the wiring harness on those things is like twice the weight of a K-Series one.
Really?
A lot of wires, yeah.
Got you. Is there anybody that's even dabbling into the wiring? Does Rywire, do they offer something for it? Or?
I haven't seen, no, but I mean, that would be something I would be interested in. I mean, right now I run a plug and play for my Motec, but it just doesn't look clean.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of wires and like a header and it plugs in.
Got you. So before we get any further, tell me about your relationship with Drag Cartel. You know, Jeremy's been founder in this community, and it seems like you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, back when I had the 8th gen, you know, I needed certain parts that, you know, I kind of didn't feel like comfortable buying, you know, without, you know, getting like exact like knowledge of what I should run.
Gotcha.
You know, they have different spring pressures and all that. And obviously he had the experience already from running, you know, the K series, and, you know, he was, you know, running his drag car well into the 9s and then high 8s, you know.
Yeah.
So, I just contacted him one day, and, you know, I asked him a few questions, and he was like super chill, straight up, and I just started buying all my parts from him. Yeah, and then we just built a relationship from there.
Dope, man. Yeah, I know when I took my motor to you to get built, we went with all Drag Cartel stuff with that. So it's crazy, man. We're all just so local.
Yeah,
you know? It's probably like 20 minutes away. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So back to the 10th gen. I know you're offering like a clutch flywheel setup. Tell me a little bit about that. Okay,
so what happened here was when I bought the car, we were already adding a lot of power to it. We were using a K-tuner at the time.
Okay.
So I think we were tuning on ethanol, and Vid even told me, he's like, the clutch is gonna slip. The clutch sucks in it, and I'm just like, well, we'll see. Maybe it's the way you're driving.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it slipped. And he was like, they were working with, I think, Clutch Masters, getting a clutch for it. And he sent me one, and I put it in the car. And after that, I was like, what's the point? Like, this car is brand new, and it doesn't drive. Like, I don't want it to drive like an old of,
you.
Chattery car.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of how it was. I mean, yeah, it held the power, but it wasn't a very comfortable car to drive after.
It lost that new car feel.
Exactly. Like I was like stalling and like the car. Yeah. So at the time, I was kind of like, oh well, I'm probably not gonna keep the car if nothing aftermarket comes up that feels better than this. So I think I took the tranny off just to see what the condition of the clutch was, and I noticed there was some issues with it, so they sent me a replacement, and I guess they had some rubbing issues with like the bell housing. So that at that time I had a HPD flywheel that I had bought from HPD, and I had a Type R clutch because I was doing a clutch on a Type R, and I noticed everything bolted up, and I was just like, I was like, this would be optimal. This clutch from the Type R can handle a lot of power. Like we didn't know how much at the time, but it can handle more than what the Type R makes. That's for sure. There's a lot of Type Rs out there running with over 400 wheel horsepower, and their cars hold up fine. Yeah. So I was like, man, it'd be awesome if I could get this clutch to work on the Tengen. And I tried to close up the tranny, but it wouldn't close. Everything was just way too big.
Got you.
So that's when I kind of just, I found a machinist, and he took this $800 HPD flywheel and just like cut it, like butchered it, just so I could fit the Type R clutch on there. Yeah. And he charged me a grip of money too, because he was like, dude, this thing was messing up my bits, like cutting it this much. Yeah, dude, that thing went from weighing 32 pounds, because it was a solid piece. It went from weighing 32 pounds to I think like 25 pounds.
No shit.
Took that much metal off of it.
Why was it so thick?
Well, the stock flywheel is a dual mass, and I think it weighs that much, and I think because of the rules or something with the cars they supply the parts for, HPD, it had to be that. Got you. So I went to install it, and it still didn't fit. Like, it barely didn't clear, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I just dumped like this is already like a $1,200 flywheel. Yeah. I still have it too. It's there at the shop. And I'm just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a Type R flywheel, and then I'll just see what I need to do to make that work. And already from the experience of messing with the HPD one, I was able to figure out what I needed to do on the Type R one to make it fit. And once I got the Type R flywheel all in there where it needed to be, I still didn't know if the car was even going to turn over. I don't know. When I first started it was just kind of like, oh shit, Yeah. And then when I pushed the clutch pedal for the first time, I was like, man, this feels so good. No. And then right as I released the clutch pedal, I was like, fuck, this is the way the car should have came. Really? Yeah. And then we still didn't know if it would hold power either, but I mean, we have hundreds of them running out there now, and wow. Yeah.
So it's the flywheel that you're selling. That's the unique part.
It's the whole thing. Yeah, I sell the whole thing, the whole clutch kit.
So,
yeah, it's flywheel, disc, pressure plate, alignment tool, throw-up bearing.
And with your special sauce in there somewhere. Yep. So what does a kit like that run?
So right now it's $1,500.
Okay.
But that's a core kit. So basically you buy that, you install it in your car, and then you pull the old flywheel off and you send it back to me, and you get $250 back.
Just the flywheel.
Just the flywheel. Gotcha. Because the way one of the reasons we need the flywheel back is because we need to cut the ring off. So the ring is like welded on the stock flywheel. The ring that starts the car.
Got you.
So those currently we're working with getting those.
Okay.
Yeah, but for right now that's the only way to really do them.
So anybody that's making power with their 10th gen should get this setup.
Oh yeah, if you still want your car to drive nice, yeah. I mean, if you don't mind a stiff pedal, and I think the younger crowd really doesn't mind, but I don't know, dude. Something happens after you're like 30. You're just like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, dude.
Yeah.
I feel you. That's crazy, man. That's
yeah.
all,
we just kept pushing the envelope. We kept pushing the power, and it kept holding, and I haven't had it slip. It hasn't slipped, so.
And you're 500 plus right
500,
now.
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So I was looking on the website earlier, and this product is out of stock. Do you have a re-up coming anytime soon? Or?
Yeah, we should have some more in stock possibly next week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we just got a round of flywheels done, and we're packing them up right now as we speak. I have my guys over there packing them up, and
very cool, dude. So do you have an issue with like supply and demand right now?
Definitely a supply with the whole coronavirus. There was an issue with getting the CTR flywheels and also the flywheel bolts, because we need the flywheel bolts to also modify those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can't just be. You can't just use your old ones.
You got to shorten them or what?
Yeah, we got to shorten them. We got to like make sure they they thread on. Because once you shorten them, they don't have the same pitch to thread in.
Yeah. Got you. Have you ever went to ARP to see if they can make you some custom bolts?
Yeah, I did. They wanted like a 10,000 bolt order or something like that. I'm like, yeah. But at the time, I really didn't see myself selling too many of them. But I mean, I guess now, probably it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, they're so cheap at the dealer. So I'd rather just, see. Yeah, if they ever increase in price crazy, then yeah, I'll have to go through a different avenue.
Got you.
For that.
Got you. So, what do you actually call this kit?
People just started calling it a CTR Retro, so that's what I call it.
And is it by New Age Performance?
Yeah, by New Age Performance.
Sick, dude. Man, you have a lot of great stuff going on, bro. It seems like you're a pioneer in this community.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, another thing that I was looking at on the website was the I wanted you to tell me more about the
clutch master.
Yeah, the clutch master cylinder.
Yeah, so those ever since I think the RSX, they started putting like delay valves inside the clutch master cylinder.
Okay.
And that all it really does is it just kind of like softens the pedal. I don't know why Honda does it, to be honest. It's still like the pedal's still super light anyway, even if that wasn't there. But what it does is it has a delay with the clutch disengagement, and what that does is it creates lockout in the shifter, especially if you try to shift fast, trying to get through the gears quick. Yeah, it could create lockout and damage the synchros.
So you came up with a new solution?
Yeah, so that happened in the 8th gen. I've been doing that since the 8th gen days.
Okay.
Yeah, we basically buy new units and we take them apart, clean them, and we modify the inside of it so it's bypassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks stock on the outside, but it's modified internally.
Got you.
Yeah.
Very cool,
yeah,
man.
We offer them now for pretty much the Type R, SI, 10 gens, 9 gens, 8 gens.
Got you.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big hit for the CTR guys because they have a lot of lockout issues. Yeah, so those sell a lot.
Got you. Yeah. You ever do any work with Honda Pro Jason? No,
but I met him a few times. I met him here.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah, he's always doing something new to his Type R.
Yeah, I see you got that new turbo.
Oh, really?
He got some prototype turbo, I think, from Mitsubishi.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that. Yeah, I like that car though, and he's I've actually thought about getting a Type R, man, just for like a daily.
You should.
It's a nice car, man.
Yeah.
It's it grew on me, and especially with Honda Pro Jason's car, you know how he had it. I kind of fell in love with that car, but I don't know, man. I'm in love with this BMW too.
Oh, I know, man.
That car is a fucking monster, dude.
I bet, man.
I'm having a blast with it. So much so that I just forgot about my other cars. I'm like, oh, they're just there. I need to tap into my Honda roots again, bro.
For
Definitely, man. So, what do we have coming up for from New Age Performance in the near future? I see you got the gear set that you're doing.
Yeah, we're still doing that. Installing stuff. especially that type of stuff like gear sets, engine builds. We're doing a fuel system for the SIs, for the 1.5s.
Okay.
And we're going to be coming out with different clutch options as well. Because, I mean, eventually some of these guys are going to be making over 500.
Yeah.
They might need something a little more aggressive to hold that.
How much do you think that block can hold?
I don't know. I mean,
500's good right now.
Right now, 500's great. But
yeah.
There's people making over 500.
Yeah.
Those are the guys running 10s.
Do you ever think about going that next step, like doing something to the block, like sleeving it, or even like CSS?
Yeah, I might sleeve it. So the problem with those blocks is that I think the bore spacing is like too close, so you can't really like overbore it.
Got you.
There's not a lot of material in between, and not only that, but Honda puts like a little channel for like coolant, so that like creates another even less room between the cylinders. So I think sleeving is probably going to be like the best way if you want it to hold power.
Got you.
Yeah, so that's probably the next thing we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Either that or just doing a FK8 motor swap in it. Yeah.
What does that setup run?
A lot of money.
Yeah, I bet, huh? There's probably not that many at the junkyard.
Yeah. I mean, best bet, Honda didn't even make that many Accord 2.0 6-speeds. That would have been, if they made a lot of those, that would have been like the ticket,
Because that has the same motor, right?
Similar motor, similar trans.
Yeah.
But much cheaper price, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I don't know. That's all kind of up in the air around if maybe Hasport, if they make a mount kit to put an older K series in the car, that'd be pretty awesome too. Really?
I was just gonna say that, dude.
I mean, I've actually I have one of those Vane engines. Actually, I have a bunch of them. I have the Vane engine stands, and I had a K series on there. And one time when I had no engine in a 10th gen chassis, I just kind of rolled it in there just to see how it fit.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, there's a lot of room in here.
Really?
Yeah. It looked good in there too.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, maybe we'll do that.
Dude, that would be cool, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, bro, you always have a lot of stuff coming out, man, and you do a lot for the community. It doesn't seem like you realize it, bro, but you really do.
Yeah, I mean, I do what I can, I guess.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Congratulations, man. That's awesome, dude. I wish you nothing but the best, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to get any work done from you, or they want to just check out the parts that you offer, where can they check you out at?
Yeah, they could just hit me up on Instagram or email me.
Do you have a Instagram for the business, or is just your personal one?
It's my personal one. Yeah, I should probably fix that later. But
yeah. You definitely got something, man, for sure. So what is your Instagram?
It's K20Z3 all motor.
Got you. Okay, sweet, dude. And if you guys ever want to check out the shop, it's here in Ventura, California. Yep. Probably about 5 minutes from us here at Downstar. Yep. So make it a trip. Sick, man. Well, Eman, thank you for your time, bro. I really appreciate it, dude. Cool. No problem, I love to see people pushing the envelope, man, and you're definitely doing that.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Right. Big thank you to you, and shout out to our sponsors, Heel Toe Automotive, been around since 2002, supplying you guys with all your Honda parts. Make sure you guys check them out. And if you listen to the commercial, you know how to get hooked up by them. So go ahead and do that. And also check out our newest sponsor, Rywire Motorsport Electronics. Rywire is your #1 source for all your wiring needs, man. They got you guys taken care of. So check them out at rywire.com or on Instagram at rywire_motorsport_electronics. And once again, this is Downtime with Downstar, episode 195, and we out. Peace.